fans of Semiahmoo Golf and Country Club. I'm your golf director, Jeff Mehlert, here to do a little more indoor golf practice series. I know that there was a little statement that we said we were going to do indoor chipping today, but we also asked if people wanted to see something specific. We would love to hit those specific needs. And so we had, I got an email from somebody by the name of Jordan S. I can't pronounce the last name. I think it's Spieth or Spieth. Anyway, he had a question about, he's slicing his tee shots under pressure, and he wanted to know if I had an indoor exercise that could help him. And so one of the exercises that I use primarily to learn how to square the club face, or what it feels like to square the club face, especially when it comes to hitting the driver, is I'll use an impact bag. And so you can see that I've just got an old leather briefcase here that has some towels and some stuff in it, so it's got a little bit of resistance to it. I've put it up against a wall, up against a reinforced wall, and then I've got an alignment stick down here that is perpendicular to my target line, which is kind of the direction that I'm trying to hit, but it's perpendicular to the wall. So in using an impact bag correctly to learn how to get rid of a slice, how I do it is I will set myself about a foot off of the impact bag. Now I've got a reference point here of my alignment stick, and I've got the toe of the club referenced very close to that alignment line. And so when I start hitting the impact bag, I want to start at about 20%, very easy, and I want my muscles to remain soft and relaxed. So I don't want a lot of tension. I don't want to hit and brace for the blow. I want my muscles to be soft. And the first few times that I strike it, I'm not hitting it very hard. I'm only going back about as far as I'll let my hands hinge. And so my hands hinge somewhere here in that 9 o'clock range. And so I'm just allowing my hands to go back to that 9 o'clock range. I'm letting my hands hinge. And then I'm hitting the impact bag, and then I'm holding that position for a moment, especially early on when I'm first hitting it. Now you want to find something that's big enough to hit. Like I recommend maybe like an old sleeping bag or an oversized duffel bag full of stuff so that you can hit it and not be fearful of missing it. So in this case, I'm just going to tap the bag and then hold that position. Now, a couple of things that I'm looking for here specifically when I'm coaching and teaching. Most importantly, I want to see that shaft line is pointed directly at my center, which you can see here it is. A lot of people that slice, and again, this Jordan fellow that was having trouble slicing his drives this last Sunday, it's very likely that you might see yourself in a position where the shaft is not pointed at your center, that it's actually pointed over there. That's really, really common that we see in people that are struggling with slicing the ball. And you can see also that that's going to leave my club face open. By literally just bringing that shaft back to where it should be, which is pointed at my center, you can see how that changes the perspective of the club face. So teaching myself what that feels like to actually have that shaft pointed at my strength, at my center point, it squares the club face up. It gives me a different feeling in my hands and my wrists. I actually feel the toe of the back of the club. I feel the toe part of the club releasing into the bag, and I can see that that face is square or beyond square. Remember, here's where the golf ball would have been, so I'm swinging slightly past that impact point and getting a feel for what it feels like to release the club face correctly. A couple other things that I'm looking for, as well as the toe being in the bag, the shaft being pointed at my center, is I'd like to see my shoulder line, or the line of my chest, fairly square to my target line. Not perfectly square, but fairly square. And then based on your flexibility, you'll see the center of your body rotated out relative to this line. So I've got one line of my legs clearing out, my stomach clearing out, but I have my chest line fairly square to the target line. If you will Google golf swing impact positions, you'll see, literally probably millions of pictures of the best players in the world in a very similar position. And then you can pick and choose the images that you like to try to replicate. And while you're striking that impact bag, if you happen to have a mirror or maybe a sliding glass door or some kind of a window that's providing some feedback, when you're striking that impact bag, you could look up and see yourself in the picture, in your mirror or in your window or what have you. But then you also might have a picture of, maybe a golf magazine or something where you see your favorite player in that similar position, and now you can look at them, look at yourself, and then also gain a feel for what it feels like to square the club face up. Now again, this reference point of alignment can be helpful as well, because some people are going to come from outside that line, and I try to make an effort to come from inside this alignment stick. So I start very easy, and I want to hold this position for a moment. And sometimes I'll have to square my students and then have them clear out, and they'll feel a pull in their back muscles and their paraspinal muscles. And they might make a mistake and then have to correct it. That's fine. Make the correction. And then after I get a feel for it, I go a little bit into rhythm so that I'm feeling that face striking the object square, square, square. I'm seeing the images that I want to see, that I know will produce a straight shot or possibly even a little bit of a draw. So that's what we have for you today. Hopefully this helps Mr. Jordan, who called in about slicing his tee shots on Sunday, and any of you out there as well that are having trouble with getting that club face squared up. I hope you find an impact bag at home and you can use that to your benefit. If you have any questions, of course, you can always reach out to myself or any of our professionals here, Kelly Brown, Kelly Rocky, Noah Vogus. They're very adept in these ideas as well. Come and give us a conversation, or send me an email or a phone call. We'll be happy to help you. And again, just want to thank you for supporting your country club, for supporting Semiyama Golf and Country Club, and just making it a great place for us to work, and hopefully it's a great place for you to play and to live. We'll see you next week. Maybe we'll get to chipping next week.